could be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the burst flame.
yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burst flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. On the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burst flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong hanging on your chest.
You can be the hero, you can beat the war. You can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
If you smell what the rock is cooking. The rock says, the rock says. The rock says, the rock.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's trying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me, they talk to me, they tell me things that I will do, they show me things I'll do to you, they talk to me.
Hello and welcome to WrestleMania weekend of the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Restore Jones and
John Randy Smith, and as my colleague said, it is WrestleMania week. It is right around the corner. In fact, it's here.
which means we've got NXT and of course WrestleMania itself. But before that, we've got a little show called the Hall of Fame to do.
Yes, which takes place at the time of this recording tomorrow night.
Immediately following SmackDown.
And we have around around 4 to 5 inductees going in the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, for 3 normal inductees, a celebrity inductee, and the Warrior Award, unless of course they add one last minute.
Starting off with the headline inductee of Rey Mysterio. And excuse my language, it's about damn time he goes to the Hall of Fame.
Yes, but it's also a surprising one because apart from Ric Flair in 2008, I don't think WWE have ever put an active wrestler into the Hall of Fame.
No, they haven't. Simple, isn't it? It's strange. So Rey Mysterio's accomplishments are be inducted by legendary manager known as Conan.
First of all, we start with WCW, of course, where he first made his impact.
Yep.
Former WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion.
3-time WCW World Tag Team Champion.
8-time WCW / WWE Cruiserweight Champion. Then after his time with the Cruiserweight Championship is when he sort of made his way up from that and would win the 2006 Royal Rumble match. Giving him one of 2 World Heavyweight Championship reigns.
Including his most famous one at WrestleMania 22.
17 years ago. That makes me feel old.
Same. Me too. You and me both.
Then, 3 years later at WrestleMania 25, he would win for his first of 2 Intercontinental Championships. In what would have been JBL's last match.
In which JBL quit WWE after he lost the Intercontinental Championship to a Joker, Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio would defeat Chris Jericho to win his second Intercontinental Championship.
Yes.
Then Rey Mysterio was also a 4-time tag team champion with one with Batista, who was supposed to be the headliner this year apparently, but is unavailable. One with Edge.
Yeah.
One with Rob Van Dam. And one with the late Eddie Guerrero.
Also, in 2006, he won the Royal Rumble match.
I just said that like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, didn't quite hear you. My apologies.
Then, after his reigns as Intercontinental Champion, he would take a slight break from championship reigns until we got to 2010. Was it 2010? Yes, it was.
Something like that.
When CM Punk decided to kayfabe walk out of WWE as WWE Champion,
Leaving the title vacated.
then Rey Mysterio would win the WWE Championship on an episode of Raw, only to lose it to John Cena later in the night.
Yes.
His second World Heavyweight Championship came in a Fatal 4-Way match, surprisingly at a pay-per-view called Fatal 4-Way.
And he would hold that title all the way until Money in the Bank, until he was cashed in on by the Big Red Mayor.
Then in the mid-2010s, Rey Mysterio would leave WWE for a couple of years,
He would.
only to return in 2018.
Something like that. And he would return in the Royal Rumble match.
Well, he would make several surprise appearances in the Rumble match, including one where he would be booed for being the number 30 entrant when people wanted Daniel Bryan.
That's about that fella.
But in 2019, he would be feuding with Samoa Joe over the United States Championship.
Yes.
Won the United States Championship, but would give it back to Samoa Joe because technically when the 3 count was made, Samoa Joe's shoulder wasn't on the mat.
No, it wasn't.
Then he would feud with Andrade, who is now in a company that must not be named,
Anyway,
and AJ Styles over the United States Championship. And then last year, no, was it last year? Yes, it was last year.
2 years ago, I think I know where you're going with this.
Rey Mysterio would team with his son, Dominic Mysterio. Of course, they have their own issue going on at the minute, but we'll get to that.
We will.
They become the first ever father-son duo to become tag team champions.
And unfortunately, this would be their only one and only time as SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
As they would eventually lose the tag team titles to the Usos.
And again, we'll get onto them in another show.
So to sum it up, Rey Mysterio is a one-time WWE champion, two-time World Heavyweight Champion, two-time Intercontinental Champion,
2-time United States Champion,
8-time Cruiserweight Champion combined with WCW and WWE,
a 4-time WWE Tag Team Champion,
won each with Edge, Rob Van Dam, Eddie Guerrero, and Batista.
One-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion with his son Dominic.
3-time WCW Tag Team Champion.
One-time WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion.
And the winner of the 2006 Royal Rumble match, lasting what was, until this year, the longest time in a Royal Rumble match.
Until it was broken by
Walter Gunther.
So now we move on to our second Hall of Fame inductee. He will be inducted by Nature Boy and fellow WWE Hall of Fame Flair.
2-time Hall of Famer.
In recently retired, the Great Muta.
Now, this one's a bit of a weird one because the Great Muta has never actually wrestled in WWE.
No, he has mostly spent his time in NWA and most importantly, in IWGP.
Now, I believe what happened here was that there was an agreement made with New Japan and WWE, because it was like a year ago, sometime last year, or some period, where Shinsuke Nakamura, I think it was Shinsuke, went back to Japan to wrestle a match.
Yes.
And I was done with the agreement that if we do that, we can put Great Muta into our Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, here we have a 4-time IWPG Heavyweight Champion,
3-time Triple Crown Heavyweight Champion.
1-time GHC Heavyweight Champion,
1-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
1-time NWA Television Champion,
1-time WCW World Tag Team Champion.
and the 1992 Battle Brawl winner.
Popularized or innovative moves such as the Shining Wizard, Moonsault, Moonsault, and the Asian Mist, formerly known as the Green Mist.
I would say also known as Green Mist.
So now we are going to our third Hall of Fame inductee, which goes all the way back to the Attitude Era.
Well, I would say it goes back before then.
As the next Hall of Fame inductee announced last week.
Well, it was announced on Monday. It's the female, once dubbed with the legs of WCW and WWE.
The legs in question was the long legs of Stacy Keibler.
Now, some people may be thinking, why?
Let us explain why.
Well, Stacy Keibler is not not necessarily known as a wrestler during the time with WCW and WWE. She is known very well as a manager.
Managing the various teams such as the Dudleys, which brought a massive success.
Well, yeah, when she first, after WCW closed their doors and she came into WWE.
Yes.
Of course, this was before Bubba Ray decided to put her through a table.
Of course. Then she would have the on to various other teams, such as she would align herself with Test.
Well, first of all, for part of 2002, she was Vince McMahon's assistant on SmackDown.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember.
Then in 2003, she would align herself with Test. Then there was once upon a time in 2005 when she was being portrayed as the girlfriend of Randy Orton.
And that quickly ended when Randy Orton RKO Stephanie into the, should I say not Stephanie, but Stacey, should I say, into the ring mat. And that pretty much put an end to that angle. And we didn't see it for a while after that. I wonder why.
Well, that was done during the whole when Randy Orton would challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. Just so happened to happen last time, but WrestleMania went Hollywood.
How ironic is that? And then
Really, the final incident that we saw of Stacy Keibler, at least as a full-time part of WWE, was when she aligned herself with the Hurricane and Rosie and would be known as Super Stacy.
oh god, yeah, I remember that. Oh my word. That makes me feel old. Oh my word.
But then Stacy Keibler would disappear from WWE for a while to take part on a series of Dancing with the Stars.
Yep.
And following her stint from Dancing with the Stars, when this was over, unfortunately she would part ways with WWE to pursue other ventures. Now, she did make an appearance on the 2011 edition of WWE Tough Enough during a segment where the candidates were cheerleaders that had to perform a cheer. And then made another appearance in 2019 when she would return to induct her real-life friend, aka Tori Wilson, into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, and at the moment, she's not being inducted by anyone, but me and Reese had to say, I think the only person to induct should be Tori Wilson.
I would imagine that's a good bet, like with Trish Stratus being inducted by Lita and Lita being inducted by Trish Stratus kind of situation.
Yeah.
Next, we go to the celebrity induction into this year's Hall of Fame.
Yes. Now, this is a posthumous induction. Unfortunately, the inductee in question is no longer with us. That inductee in question is Andy Kaufman.
Some people may be thinking, who?
But let us read you out what it says here. He is a comedian and star who rose to fame in the late 70s and early 80s as the star of the TV series Taxi. He would also get involved with Jerry the King Lawler.
Got involved in wrestling and started to promote himself as the intergender champion.
Yes.
where he would defend the championship against female wrestlers. Can't imagine that would go down well today.
He'll get into a feud with Jerry Lawler in the Continental Wrestling Association.
And then on the Allen episode of
The Late Night with David Letterman,
he would then Lawler would famously slap Andy live on TV. This is considered one of the first times that a celebrity would cross over into wrestling.
but now we head over, and obviously, no surprise, he'll be inducted posthumously by Jerry the King Lawler.
And then finally, we cross over to the recipient of this year's Warrior Award.
Now, this inductee has a little bit of a childhood flashback on being race, because the inductee in question is referee Tim White, the posthumously awarded the Warrior Award this year.
Full name, incidentally, Timothy Reese White.
What a coincidence of that! What is the chance of that?
So Tim White would really start as the backstage assistant to Andre the Giant.
Yes, those two were inseparable backstage.
But then, following Andre's death in 1993, Tim White would become a full-time referee and one of the big names in WWE refereeing. So much so that at the King of the Ring in 1998, Tim White would be the referee on the infamous Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Mankind.
Yes, in later years he'll continue to be a referee, but then in 2002, during the Judgment Day pay-per-view, Tim White's referee career would be tragically cut.
Well, technically not then, but yes, in another Hell in a Cell match between Chris Jericho and Triple H, Tim White would suffer a shoulder injury. You see, it's not just the wrestlers who have to worry about picking up injuries. The referees are just as vulnerable.
Yes. So unfortunately, that brought Tim White's refereeing career to a sudden halt.
Not quite, because in 2004, at WrestleMania 20, Tim White did return to referee the match between Chris Jericho and Christian. However, re-injured his shoulder in the final 3 count of the match. And that would be the end of his refereeing career.
Yes. So yes.
The,
Let's run you through the inductees one more time.
the headliner of the Hall of Fame class of 2023 will be Rey Mysterio.
Inductee number 2, the Great Muta.
Inductee number 3, Stacy Keibler.
The celebrity inductee posthumously inducted, Andy Kaufman.
And the Warrior Award, again, posthumously inducted or recipient, former WWE referee and producer Tim White.
The Hall of Fame takes place at the time of this recording, tomorrow night, immediately following SmackDown.
And it will take place from the Crypto.com Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California.
Join us momentarily as we will head to our first stop on this WrestleMania weekend.
Second.
On this WrestleMania weekend.
But until then, momentarily, he's been
Sean Randy Smith, and he's been
Wasteful Lack Jones, and enjoy the Hall of Fame class of 2023.